Yo. Okay, cool. We're live. Let's switch over. Hi, everyone. Welcome again for those listening now, those listening in future times. This is the Betterment Broadcast. I'm your host, Rap Raven. Got a good show for you guys today. Yep, should be live. Everything is good. I'm going to slowly but surely go through the intro that everyone wants to know. Now, let's go through that. Cool. So, after much research, I've unfortunately concluded that currently black people are collectively inadequate. This is most unfortunate. Because of this truth, we have to actually strive to find solutions. So this is what we're going to do. So voila. All right, cool. So on today's show, what we want to do is understand that if people jump in and we communicate, we want to use the 4D values. So with the 4D values, we want to make sure we uphold discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. Okay? Very important that we uphold these philosophies, these ideas, these values. It makes talking very easy, and it also makes finding solutions even more easier. So you should try it. Very good. All right. Also, descriptive language instead of derogatory language. If possible, when we start communicating, if possible, we do not use any derogative language, just descriptive language. That makes things much easier. There's some examples on your screen at the moment. You know, instead of Uncle Tom, you could use what identified, but it is what it is. There's plenty of stuff that you can freeze in the future, read through these, and try to update. Voila, excellent, cool. Now, what is Black Betterment? Black Betterment is black people helping black people on black issues for betterment. This entire broadcast is based upon that concept. That's right, Black Betterment is a lifestyle. So this broadcast promotes a lifestyle of black people helping black people on black issues, kind of like each one teach one philosophy, but yeah, a higher magnitude. Let me turn my phone off. Voila, cool, excellent. People wanting the link. Hold on, make sure everyone's got it. Yeah, everything's cool. Yeah, so voila. Where are we now? Okay, so we might be showing some video and maybe some screenshots from other people's institutions and designs. So we're going to say this. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Law Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use of purposes such as criticism, comment, use of points, scholarships, research, fair use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, non-profited, educational, personal use, tips, and balance in favor of fair use. There you go. So just say, if you see any kind of content in here that isn't ours, not to worry. It's we're using it as a form of education. There you go. Now today's show, got a great show for you today. Before I introduce the host, which is not the host, the guest. Let's say ways to improve health with food choices in the black community. The Black Betterment Broadcast. All right, I should have taken that out, but it's in there. All right, so we got a guest speaker today called Eazi, and he was here. Here we go. We're gonna add him to the stream. Let me actually turn my mic on to be courteous. So where's my start cam? All right, hey, I exist. All right, let me add Brother Eazi. So everyone, welcome Brother Eazi. Welcome Brother Eazi. How's it going?
Yes, family.
Hey,
I'm good. Can everyone hear me? Huh?
You're looking healthy, which is good. So Brother Eazi, just to give you an update, last week and this week, and maybe for a few more weeks. Depends how we do it. We're going to be focused on black people's health, how black people can help each other become healthy. There's been some studies that they're saying that in the community, there's some bits of the community that might not be in best health. So we're going to be focusing today on more so things you put in your body, that kind of stuff. And in future times, maybe exercise, this kind of stuff. But today we have a very special guest, and Brother Eazi. I met Brother Eazi, I think, at Speaker's Corner when he was doing public speaking. A very hard thing to do, to go in public and speak. But Brother Eazi came, and obviously expert did what he had to do. So what I'm going to do, Brother Eazi, is let me put the screen up big. Let me see if I can. Where we go. Boom. Voila. Yeah. So Brother Eazi, just what we're going to do, you're going to actually introduce yourself to the family, right? And then after you introduce yourself and what you're about and that good stuff, you're going to do your presentation. So you're going to present some information, which is very good for the family. And afterwards, we're going to throw the link out there. If people want to jump in and ask questions, they can. If you've got any questions, guys, make notes. Wait to the end, unless Brother Eazi wants to, be organic and ask questions on the fly. It's up to you, brother. It's your time. So, Brother Eazi, tell us about yourself. How did you get on this journey of health? Go.
Yeah, family. Yeah, so Eazi Herbs. Eazi Herbs is the brand and the name. Name is that the name Eazi comes from off the rose. Um, lived and raised in like Newham, Forest Gate. So
Hey,
yeah, definitely. So yeah, life was for me was quite negative, you know, road
mm,
life, everything. So I lived a life of the streets and all, and yeah, so I kind of brought myself into an awakening at a period of my life, and then started seeking, you know, especially when it comes to my inheritance, genetics, you know, and etc. So that kind of put me on my lane that I'm on now
mm.
because I started seeking knowledge about myself, you know,
Oh yeah,
that trying to find out who I am, where I come from, what my ancestors been through, you know. So
yeah,
questions had to be answered. So I went on the lane of seeking information, started buying books, started watching a lot of conscious platforms, you know what I mean? Watching
yeah.
speakers corner and all that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then it kind of
Cool.
like drawed me in, you know, and I kind of like went on to my own lane, dealing with health and science. I deal with African philosophies as well,
Mm.
understand these books and the concepts, you know, the many different concepts. Um, and I kind of yeah, so yeah, like Raven was saying about how he met me in Speaker's Corner. I've been on this health thing for 6 years now, you
All right.
know, veganism. Since I come off the meat, I never touched it, never went back. Um, yeah, so I thought let me, because I was on some information, kicking some information, and I thought, yeah, let me bring something new to the Speaker's Corner, you know, a little different type of energy.
Mm.
Because you know, I could have went there and had conversations about African philosophies and have these religious debates, but I thought, nah, like, everyone's been doing that, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me go there and then kick some science. And yeah, Rat Raven kind of put me on the spotlight.
Of course,
You know,
well, you're worthy of it, brother. But then the thing is, in the question and answer time, we will ask because obviously you said some things there that you made certain changes in your life and you never turn back. And for some people, these things are most challenging to actually do a dynamic change into something new and then not look back and because obviously there's always temptation to go back to what was before. So what we're gonna do, brother, is I'm gonna come off just because I'm want to because brother's got a presentation. And what you need to do is
yeah,
just tell me when to want to change the actual screens and that, and I'll do it. So let me take myself off, and I might jump in again if I need to help out here and there with
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so I'm gonna remove. Let me go add to stream this one. Hold on, voila. Wait, and let me skip to the thing. All right, okay, and then we're gonna go remove. I think can you see the screen, brother? I don't know
Yeah, I
if it's
can see
even
it.
changed. Has it changed, bro? For me, it doesn't even like it's even changed. To be fair, hold on.
Yeah, it's changing. It's changing.
Is it? Yeah, I'm still seeing the
What you want to
the.
see?
There we go. Voila, got it. There you go. What's your face? There. It's that one. It's working. So I'm gonna come off, bro. All right. So do you want me to leave on this screen for you and let you do your thing? Is that? And
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start off and then yeah, I will definitely shout you for the pits and all that. But I'm
yeah.
gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of information before the pits even getting put out there still.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
yeah.
Well, okay. Let me just.
Okay. So we ready?
Yeah. Just call the screens you want. I'll put them in for you. Yeah.
Facts. All right. So Easy's gonna deal with the biology, yeah, cause I deal with health and everything. So Easy's gonna break down his concept and his ideology of how health should be um learned, you know, because health is has to be learned in a specific way so you can understand why you're utilizing these that type of dietaries, you know. If people don't really have an understanding of how it works and how biology, how your body uses these type of foods, then you would take a lot of things for that for granted, yeah. So you know, I'd always deal with um the past and then push forward and how it's relevant to today, yeah. So we're gonna go with a few theories that people might have heard of and might know about. But one of the theories, scientific theories, so this facts and evidence that can that mounted up to this hypothesis or theory that I'm talking about. Yeah, this one of these theories is called about was it abogenesis? Yeah, abogenesis is where non-living life has created life. Yeah, So with abogenesis, yeah, they have fundamental factors. This is the origin of life now, yeah. These fundamental factors, yeah, I'm gonna put down, yeah, is fundamental factors that is needed for life to exist, yeah. It's RNA, yeah, and DNA slash. Mind the sound, yeah, you got a helicopter above my head, yeah. You need RNA and DNA for any type of life to exist, yeah. No matter what type of life you're I'm thinking of, it needs to have these type of nitrogen bases, yeah. RNA and DNA. With RNA and DNA, you have nitrogen bases, yeah. Nitrogen base is adenine. I can write. Let me write them. Adenine, thymine, guanine, and then cytosines, yeah. This is DNA, yeah. RNA is exactly the same, but instead of the thymine, you have uracil. These are nitrogen bases, yeah. This is the fundamental factors that that you need for life to exist, yeah. What else do you need for life to exist? You need something called lipids, yeah. Lipids. What's lipids? Lipids are fats, yeah. Fats, fats. Then you also need, yeah, carbohydrates, 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 yeah. This is all the fundamental factors of life, yeah. This is all in abiogenesis, yeah. And then you also have protein. So you have four vital fundamental factors, yeah, for life to exist. Microorganisms we're talking about, yeah. So the lipids are for the cell membrane, yeah, cell membrane, and obviously the DNA and RNA is for the coding, yeah, the memory, you know, and the protein you need amino acids for the lipids to to structure within the environment of abiogenesis, because we're dealing with a time period where there was no oxygen on Earth. Yeah, there was like nitrogen and other bases that we had. Yeah, abiogenesis. Yeah, so you need protein for lipids to actually structure. Yeah, around to and then you have carbohydrates. Yeah, these are the fundamental factors for life to exist. Yeah, this is a theory. Yeah, a scientific theory of abiogenesis. Yeah. The reason why I'm bringing these up, because it's gonna be relevant in my topic or my discussion I'm gonna have today. Yeah. So now we understand, yeah, with these fundamental factors, yeah, we know at the time it under abiogenesis theory is that on Earth, it's a theory how water came to Earth. They trying to say that water come from a meteorite and collided with the Earth, and then through the 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 meltdown of the sun, it started melting down the ice particles into what we know now as the ocean. Yeah, this is where these fundamental factors thrive off. Yeah, there's another term that people might know about. It's called um primordial waters. Yeah, primordial waters. Yeah, the ancient civilizations talked about this. Yeah, or the neuron soup. Yeah, these are theories where these fundamental factors, which the DNA, the lipids, the carbohydrates, and the proteins exist, and then they could create what we know now, yeah, as prokaryotics. Yeah, prokaryotics. So what's prokaryotics? Prokaryotics are single cell organisms, yeah, single cell organisms. The first finding, or the first finding fossil, yeah, of a single celled organisms are what we called cyanobacteria, yeah, archaea, and also we have viruses, yeah. but the oldest finding is the cyanobacteria. Yeah, these are single-celled organisms. Yeah, that thrived about 3.5 billion years ago. Yeah, so we went through the origin of life, which is the abiogenesis and the fundamental factors and how organisms can organisms can be created, yeah, with the fundamental factors. This is the oldest finding of a organism that's been found, yeah, the cyanobacteria, 3.5 billion years ago. This bacteria is responsible of putting oxygen into the atmosphere of Earth. At the time prior to this, oxygen was only found within the water. The small molecules, yeah, oxygen was found, obviously H2O, yeah. The cyanobacteria converted the oxygen from water and started photosynthesis with the sun, yeah. So cyano was the first bacteria to photosynthesis, yeah, with the sun, creating oxygen within the atmosphere, yeah. So this is the first bacteria to do that, yeah. The rest of the bacteria that existed at that time were what you called aero, aerobiotic, no, aerobic organisms, yeah, which means aerobic organisms, which means, yeah, that these organisms find their oxygen, yeah, within the water supply, the small molecule parts, yeah, to survive, yeah. Since the cyanobacteria photosynthesis with the sun, it killed and wiped out all the microorganisms that was aerobic, yeah. So it kind of is, yeah. So that's how it goes, yeah. This is the date that goes back to about 3.5 billion years ago. This is a new. This was a new, updated version of prokaryotic cells that wiped out the rest of the old organisms that lived at that time. This cyanobacteria has now evolved once again and started branching off, yeah. So after now, it started creating what we know now as oxygen into the atmosphere. The Earth took about 1 to 2 billion years to oxidize the Earth's atmosphere. It took about 1 or 2 billion years for it to do so. Yeah. While it was doing so, it started forming other types of microorganisms, the cyanobacteria, because prokaryotics, which is a single cell organisms, is the origin of what we call now as eukaryotics. Yeah, eukaryotics are cells, yeah, that we have within us. The difference between prokaryotics and eukaryotics is because prokaryotics, which is a single cell organisms, do not have organelles. Yeah. Organelles are the 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 mitochondrial, the endoplasmic reticulum, and the Golgi apparatus. Yeah. So we know now this is the origin. But this is how scientists have come to the conclusion and know what come before what. Now we know eukaryotics that we all live with have these organelles, yeah, which has these self-efficient mechanisms, yeah. These organelles are self-sufficient organisms that generate energy, generates protein, and generates structure within cells, yeah. So we know now that the cyanobacteria created the eukaryotics, yeah, which is the cells, yeah. It also created what we know now as algae, yeah. What is algae? Algae is seaweed, yeah. Seaweed. This is another species that helps with the producing of oxygen. Yeah. So the cyano produces oxygen, and the algae, which is the seaweed. Yeah. Then we have the eukaryotics, which splits off. We got another split in off, which is we know now as fungi. Yeah, these are later on. Fungi, the mushrooms, yeah. Different types of mushrooms, and also what does algae splits off and do? Creates what you know now, or we know now as plant life, yeah. Plant life. Plant life is created by the green algae. The cyanobacteria is also known as a blue and green algae. Yeah, the algae, green algae created plant life, and we got the red algae, which is the Irish moss, yeah, the sea moss and different, and then you got the brown algae, which is the bladderwracks and kelp, yeah. So we got different branches off, yeah. We know that the eukaryotic branches off and create what we know now as animal life to humans, yeah. This is how the evolution has their scientific fundamental factors of how we come to existence. Yeah, there's obviously just holes in there. They're still learning how the processes work, but we know this fundamental factors within the theory of science, I would say. So we know cyanobacteria is the origin of microorganisms. Yeah, we know that cyanobacteria makes seaweed. Yeah, the origin of seaweed. Yeah, we know bacteria. Cyanobacteria is the origin of cells. Yeah, so the bacteria, the bacteria that the cyano has made now, has branching off and made, is within us. Yeah, so now we're looking at the humanoids. Yeah, the humanoid is composed of 37.2 trillions of cells. Yeah, cells, which are the eukaryotics. Yeah, eukaryotics. Yeah, this is on an average. Yeah, so every average human being would have about 37.2 trillions of cells. Yeah, bacterias, yeah, including cyanobacteria, because from 3.5 billion years ago, they still exist up to now. They are they 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 exist in us, and they're 10 times more. Yeah, within us. Yeah, so 37.2 trillions of cells, bacteria, and microorganisms are 10 times more. Yeah, that makes us as individuals are identical. Yeah, and only 10% makes us unique. We're all identical via the 10 times more microorganisms that we all share. Yeah, we first get introduced to these microorganisms when we leave the womb. Yeah, the womb, and also breastfeeding. Yeah, microorganisms or bacteria. Yeah, also known as probiotics. Yeah, they help with the child development of the brain and also the immune system. So as soon as a child is birth and suckle from the breast milk conceive a dose of good bacteria. Yeah, these bacteria, like I said, help with the development of your brain. The stages of your brain that that a child goes through to end up into the human neocortex. Yeah, and through that process, It's the help of these microorganisms. What else is this, these microorganisms help with? It also helps with the immune system. Yeah, immune system. The first immune system that get into starts to build up from when you leave the womb. It's called the adaptive immune system. Yeah, the adaptive immune system, and you got the innate immune system that comes later on. Yeah, the adaptive immune system is the oldest immune system that gets help built by the microorganisms. Yeah, the microorganisms that you get introduced to while you breastfeed is what prepares the immune system to fight against the surroundings that you live in. Yeah. So, for example, child's kids that are birthed through C-section, they have to be given probiotics and etc. as soon as they are cut out the belly, because if they don't get introduced to these microorganisms, their immune systems will be weak, and a common cold or a common flu or a common pathogen will kill them. Yeah. So microorganisms, very vital for life. Yeah. Then we go. So now we know that we get introduced them through our breastfeeding, and it helps with our immune system and the development of our brain. Now we know. Yeah. So now through that process, they end up harboring within our colon. Yeah. So a colon is what? It's our large intestines, small intestines. Yeah, the small and large intestines. Yeah. You know, if Rat Raven is listening, he can pull out an image of the intestines. But within the small and large intestines, you have up to about estimated. Yeah. Okay. The image is right there. Yeah. You have the stomach up there. You see the large colon, and you see the small intestines. Most of the bacteria is harboring within the large intestines. You have an estimated of 100 trillion life microorganisms within your colon. Yeah, yeah. There's a ratio of 80. Yeah, no, out of the 100% ratio, you have 80% of these microorganisms, which are what you call probiotics. Probiotics is another term for good bacteria. Yeah. Then you would also have 15% of the bacteria is bad bacteria, which is what you know now as pathogens. And then you have the other 5%, which is rendered as useless. Yeah. So majority of the the bacteria that you have with inside you are probiotics, good bacteria. Yeah. Probiotics live everywhere, from on your skin to your colon to practically everywhere. The only place that bacteria is not 100% not around, or not even 100% that they think, because they even have evidence of it interacting around the brain. The brain is known to be clear from all organisms, but now scientists are coming up with new information on how bacteria and microorganisms might be within that region as well. So we need to understand that there's microorganisms everywhere within our body. Yeah. So now we go back to how these microorganisms work with us and how they would work against us. Yeah. Microorganisms, yeah, helps, like I said, with the immune systems. It interacts with what you call the NK, the T cells, and the B cells. Yeah, from, like I said, the adaptive immune system. Yeah, you got the innate immune system as well, which is the um the um the side of the immune system that deals with the immunoglobulins, which are the cells that goes around and detect and label targets on foreign pathogens. Yeah, pathogens, like I said, are bad bacteria or bad viruses. The viruses and bacteria is out to actually attack the body. The immunoglobulins are part of the immune system that helps identify which one's a foreign agent or which one is a friend, you know. So the bacteria also aid the immunoglobulins to identify what pathogens are and what are the actual good bacteria. It also aids the immune system, which are the T cells and the NK cells, to exterminate the foreign invaders. Bacteria that live within inside us fight against these foreign invaders. For example, the cold, the flu, and etc. Even up to COVID. There's microorganisms in your nose, your trachea, your esophagus, your loads of places. So it actually stops pathogens from entering into your system. So we carry on. Microorganisms also, as from the start, it helps with the development of your brain. It still keeps that in touch with your brain. So now it also interacts with your mood, yeah, and your emotions, yeah. So we're gonna go deep into that. Raven, I don't know if you want to put up the vagus nervous system because they have gateways where they do so. One's gateway is called the enteric nervous system, and another one is called the vagus nervous system, yeah. Enteric nervous system, and then you got the vagus, yeah, which Ravens put up. These are the gateways, yeah, which the colon has direct communication to all the organs and directly into your what you called the central nervous system. The central nervous system is the link straight directly to your brain. Goes from your midbrain to your cerebral cortex. Yeah. So scientists have now labeled the colon as the second brain. It's called the second axis. Yeah, brain, because now we know that the colon can have some control or a lot of control of your brain. You know, it sends, for example, it sends signals and hormones through those gateways, which is the vagus nervous system and the enteric nervous system. These hormones are known as serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Yeah, oxytocin. Yeah, these are hormones. Yeah, hormones are like drugs. Yeah, you could say. Yeah, 80% of serotonin is created within your colon. 80%, yeah. 50% of dopamine is created in the colon, and etc. Yeah. These are hormones. Serotonin is what makes you happy. Yeah. Makes you like all the happy emotions. Dopamine is that drug, that high addictive feeling. Yeah. Addictive feeling. Yeah. And etc. Oxygen, you can go into that. Yeah. So these are all made within your second brain, which is your colon, the small intestines, and the large intestines. These are hormones. These are your emotions. These detects what you, these are these microorganisms are controlling how you feel the next day and how you want to get your drive. Microorganism sends these signals. Bacteria does, yeah. So we go a little bit more on what these bacteria also help doing, yeah. Microorganisms, yeah, also, like I said, with the fiending and the addiction, also have you fiending or needing something that might not be required. So as I said earlier, where there's a ratio of 100% and 80% is good bacteria, which is probiotics, and the 15% is bad bacteria, and the 5 is rendered useless. Bad bacteria can also take control and send these same signals, hormones, yeah. These hormones and signals through these gateways call the vagus nervous system are sent via what you called as neurotransmitters. Microorganisms create neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are what you called as signals, yeah, or messages. Sorry, messages, yeah, that the that the neurons pick up via dendrites. So with the central nervous system and how they have a direct contact straight into your brain is through these gateways. These gateways are connected to what you know now as the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So wrap in that system, please. Yes. So we have the CNS and yet the PNS. These are systems, yeah, or stimuli and neurons. These are where the neuron transmitters that are produced, serotonin and dopamine, get sent through and enter into what you called your midbrain, your pons, your cerebellum, and what you know now as your cerebral cortex, or that's the whole lobe, yeah, the cerebral cortex. This is what the CNN is the central nervous system, and the peripheral nervous system is all where all the stimuli um um is, yeah, just to have a quick picture of what I'm talking about. The access gateways have direct access to all these systems, yeah, so we need to understand um how important the colon is, yeah. So now we're gonna go back to okay, so now we're doing with microorganisms. So we know that now pathogens, yeah, can take control of these hormones. Yeah, we need to look at what feed these microorganisms, because the that's the that's the main that's the main focus on when it comes to dietary is these microorganisms. That's why I had to take you all the way back and bring you forward, because these microorganisms have to be fed. They cannot thrive if they're not fed. You know, you have 80% of good bacteria in the colon and 15% of bad bacteria in the colon, and then 5% is rendered useless. So this is where it comes in to where we know as dietary. Yeah, dietary. These microorganisms is the first, the first, the the first, the first. Let me just look for the right term. The first. These microorganisms are the first to be fed. Yeah, the first to be fed. So before your cells get these nutrients from the food that you consume, the microorganisms eat, you know? So this is where bad dietary can have control of your whole system. Yeah, the same way how good bacteria can. For example, if you eat acidic food or carcinogenic food or bad food. For example, let me even have a plain example without getting too much on the science. A lot of people, I don't know if people can relate to what I'm going to say now, is, for example, of eating McDonald's fast takeaway food. People eat that food, they get a stimulus, they get a high from it. As soon as it's been digested and put in within called your small intestines and then pushed out into your large intestines, you'll feel that you are hungry again. Yeah. And you will need more food. The reason why this occurs is because now the pathogens has ate from the food, but your cells hasn't. So you feed the bad bacteria that are sending the signals and the addiction hormones that make you feel that you need these foods, but then yet you're hungry again, and you're not you're this is because that your food that you're putting in your body is not nutrients heavy, but is pathogen is acidic heavy, and it's the food of the pathogen and not for your cells. Yeah, and this is how that works. That is just the basic breakdown of how it works and how these microorganisms can play tricks on you. Microorganisms are also control of depression, anxiety, and etc. So the reason why you might feel low, and the reason why you a lot of people with obesity and etc. fiend for dietary like sugars and etc. because the bad bacteria are now in control and is thriving and is sending these signals, these drug hormones for you for your brain to think that you need these foods. This is how the microbiome works, you know. So okay, so we understand that through our food, our cells eat from. Yeah. So the breakdown of the digestive system is when you eat food, it goes down the esophagus, it ends up into what you call your stomach acid. Yeah, you got your stomach acid, yeah, your stomach acid, which is called the gastric cells, which produce what you called as hydrogen chloric acid. Yeah, hydrogen chloric acid is the acid that helps break down the food. Yeah, the it also releases what you call the pepsin. Pepsin helps break down protein. It breaks the chain of the amino acids. Everything when it comes to dietary is bringing a bigger scale into a micro scale. Yeah, so when we eat protein as the whole full 9 essential amino acids, when it gets into the stomachs, it chops it up, you know. So this is how the digestive system works. This is how your cells eat. So as I said, you got the pepsin that breaks down the proteins. It snaps the polypeptides for for a singular micro for a singular micro no just for a singular amino acids. Then you also have what you called pepsin. You got intrinsic factor that helps with the digestion of B12. So you need intrinsic factor for the B12. And then you also have Lipase is the help of the breakdown of fats. Yeah. So this is the fourth enzymes or factors that you have in your stomach. Your stomach also performs what you call perotosis, where it squeezes up the food into a smaller particle. Yeah, and then gets pushes into what you called your small intestines. The small intestines is where the transferring of your nutrients and your minerals and your fats happen. Yeah. Before it does that, you got the pancreas that's just creating another fluid, which is the sodium the hydrogen no the sodium hydrogen carbonate, which turned the food which was turned into what you call thyme into alkaline, because obviously we know that the hydrogen chloric acid is acidic, and it's turned the food acidic. Before it gets into your small intestines, it has to be converted into alkaline by the pancreas. Yeah. So before it enters to the small intestines, it gets converted into what you call alkaline, and then your nutrients get absorbed by what you call now the villi. Villi is the small hairs in your small intestines that converts the minerals and nutrients into what you call now as your bloodstream, your blood capillary. And then what is left is what you call the leftover minerals, maybe because you get a lot of waste with the stool that you release out of your large intestines. But starch, a lot of the starch gets broken down by the pancreas as well, with enzymes, what you call alpha amylase. Yeah, starch turns into glucose and gets pushed in to your bloodstream, that gets picked up. Yeah, then yeah. So your large intestines, though the food, the leftover, which is the leftover starch, gets pushed into your large intestines. This is where the majority of the microorganisms feed off. Yeah. Microorganisms also break down proteins and minerals and nutrients as well, and even so send them into your bloodstream as well. So it's a process of that. but we know that this is the food. This is the food that these microorganisms eat off. It's the starch. Yeah. So the acidic food, like a lot of teachers that will talk about, Dr. Sabi and all of that acidic food, mucus building food is under the same principle, but my concept of it is where the food that attacks the good bacteria is the food that you don't want to consume. So even more where Dr. Sabi will say acidic food, hybrid foods, I would say the foods that attacks the bacteria. The bacteria is in, has more control than you would ever think with inside your body. You know, the origin of all diseases starts off within your colon. So, you know, how Dr. Sabi and other teachers might say it starts off with mucus and acidic, rightly so, because these microorganisms can't live in that environment of acidic and mucus build, but it also shuts down the shop of good bacteria and breeds and thrives pathogens. So that's the first form of dietary. What feeds pathogens is acidic food, certain starches, um, sugar, processed sugar, etc. All the foods that a lot of people would know about. Yeah, the food that feeds these microorganisms are what you call now is resistant starch, starch called inulin, and fermented stuff. From fermented food stuff, I meant as in fact that you can drink certain fermented drinks like kombucha that can help feed and breed more probiotics, and you have dry fruit, yeah, which is like raisins and etc. that feeds the microbiome. It also has the inulin and the resistant starch to feed and thrive these microorganisms. So this is the dietary that you need to implement in your life. You have also have these inulin and resistant starch in green bananas, plantain, and etc. Certain types of potatoes and etc. and alkaline grains. Alkaline grains we don't deal with oats. We don't deal with corns. We deal with like kamut, teff. We deal with fono. We deal with amaranth, and all we deal with spelt. These are the grains and the food. Fruit and veg also feed the microbiome, the good probiotics that help us thrive. Yeah. So we're gonna push more into dietary. So this is basically the breakdown of the microbiome. You know. So I don't know if Raven wanna jump in or anything. I'm gonna jump straight into what we called now iron, because that's another topic. But let me see, Raven want to speak about anything.
Hey, stop. Edgar, brother. Yeah, you got in, brother. You got in, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Sci-Fi, excellent. That's good stuff. Excellent science. That's good science and all that good stuff. That's what we like. So what? So what? How do you want to do? You want, because I've got the images here because we're going. So brothers and sisters listening,
That one
we're
there's
going to
important,
11. Yeah,
definitely.
and yeah, like obviously, I don't obviously how you want to do your presentation you can, but obviously there's something you said that was very interesting. You mentioned about the whole when people eat junk food, you're feeding a particular enzyme. Am I wrong? Something like this.
Yeah, the bacteria,
Right,
definitely. Yeah, you're feeding a certain type of bacteria, the
right,
pathogens.
right. Right. Now, what? Let me not interrupt your thing, because if you want to still do more, I'll just jump out with it. But there's two more slides, I think, or two or three more slides. So
Okay, so all right, that was the microbiome. So I'm gonna give you guys a heads up of how iron is important, because I know in the black community we need to introduce more iron in our dietary. We got a lot of people that's going through sickle cell or low iron, especially our black women. So this is gonna cater more to why we need to consume iron now. Yeah. So we know that basically we have red blood cells, we have oxygen, and we have iron. Oxygen is oxygen is needed for our body to produce energy. Our cells utilize oxygen for energy. Oxygen gets within our body via our respiratory system into what you call our Broca's area, and where we know now as our alveoles. Alveoles is where the conversion of oxygen into your bloodstream and then the blowing out of carbon dioxide, yeah, through little balls called alveoles. This process happens where the alveoles push these oxygen molecules, because oxygen splits once the alveoli pushing these atoms in and breaks them down into smaller molecules into what you call the bloodstream. Everything that enters your body has to be broken down in smaller forms for your cells to utilize. Yeah. So oxygen does the same. Oxygen atom splits and then it goes into two atoms. Yeah. This is how the gateway goes. The alveoles pushes into your bloodstream, your red blood cells, which don't have these organelles and these mitochondrials and etc. It also but it has what we call the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is made of what you call the polypeptides, and then it has what you call heme. Yeah. So the polypeptides is what you have is A chain. A chain means alpha chain, and the B chain means beta chain. Yeah. So you have two alpha chains and you have two beta chains. These chains are polypeptides, so they're proteins. Yeah. And then with inside there, you should see some heme. Heme is a group. It's a storage place for oxygen. Yeah. This is where iron is needed, because heme is iron. Iron attracts the oxygen molecules and it holds it within the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein that's within red blood cells, and it helps the transporting of oxygen. Yeah, the oxygen is attached to what you called the heme group, and it travels to your bloodstream to around your body where it releases. The further it goes, it loses the oxygen molecules. When the oxygen molecules get dropped off, this is where cells pick them up via receptors. Yeah, the cells pick them up and then they use them as APT, which then helps pick them up via mitochondrial and then convert them into APT, which later on be used as energy. Yeah, and then the end result is what you called the the aerobic respiration, where it utilizes oxygen molecules as energy via AP or ATP, and then the waste energy is carbon carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide also gets picked up by the hemoglobin. So once they release once the red blood cells travels to the destination, it releases the oxygen, but then picks up the waste product, which is the carbon dioxide, and then travels it back to the alveoles. This is where the converting of oxygen to carbon dioxide happen. So it's a constant cycle. But as we know, we need oxygen to for our cells to utilize as energy. But oxygen also causes us harm, because now when the oxygen splits, you have what you called an atom splits. Atom splits, atom, and then it splits. It will split into two molecules, because atoms breaks down into two molecules. Yeah, two molecules are now has what's molecules? Molecules is got the electrons and proton and neutrons inside. Yeah, so you got the electrons, the outer layer, and then you got the protons and neutrons inside. When the oxygen atom splits, majority of the time, it leaves a abnormal. No, it will leave a no. when that when the oxygen splits, the molecules leave a unpaired electron. Yeah, this is how oxygen can cause damage and cause us problems. Yeah. So when oxygen splits, atom splits into two molecules, it can leave an unpaired or uneven electron. Electron comes in pairs. Once a molecule has an unpaired electron or uneven number electron, is now we know as what we called as free radicals. So free radicals are molecules with an uneven pair of electrons. Free radicals goes around feeling in our body, feeling to pair up with electron, because electrons need to be paired up. So it goes around your body and looking for electron to snatch from a cell.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you call free radicals, yeah? This is where, when you got the oxidative stress, so put out the oxidative stress, this is where,
This one here. Okay, free radicals. Okay, here we go.
the next one, the other one.
This one.
Yes, definitely.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so now when these molecules go around and snatch electron of the normal cell, it then now disables a cell. Disables a cell, yeah, and then stables the free radical cell or molecule, but then the free radicals will see the normal cell that has been hijacked from electron as
Mm-hmm.
a vulnerability. So it will carry on attacking the cell, which then ends up into what you call now as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is when free radicals attack a cell, usually to what you called cell death, or to what we know now as a mutation or abnormal cell. Free radicals taps the DNA and other organelle structures. This is now what you call an abnormal cell.
Mm.
So an abnormal cell is a cell, a defunctioning cell that is just sitting within your body. These cells are known or could be triggered and create what we know now as cancer cells.
Okay.
So when scientists say that we all have cancer cells within our body, they're correct. But I would rather use the term called abnormal cells, because they don't turn cancer cells unless they get provoked, and that can go through dietary, environmental hazards, and etc. Yeah, but
Mm.
this is how oxygen can cause cancer cells. Yeah,
Right.
but there's a catch to it, because free radicals attacks all cells. So that means that if there is a abnormal cell, which is a potential cancer cell, free
Mm-hmm.
radicals get rid of that. So it helps
Okay.
us, and it also create us hazards. Yeah.
Mm.
So now we look at what food that counteracts free radicals.
Mm-hmm.
We have to consider what we call now as antioxidants. So bring up that picture.
This one here, brother.
Yeah, that one there.
Here we go.
So what is antioxidants are? Everyone's heard of them. Antioxidants. Yeah, we know they're at fruits. Everyone, blueberries, they all got fruits, everything. But what is antioxidants? People just know the term, but don't know exactly what it is. Antioxidants are molecules with an extra electron. So you're eating food with molecules, you're feeding your body molecules with extra electrons.
Mm-hmm.
And then what it does, it goes around and then just dish them out. It dished them out. So it fix up cells. Cells have been attacked by a free radical. It goes around and it fix up cells by just dishing out an electron to what? And then it stables the cell and stables the free radicals. So you need to feed yourself fruits via, because antioxidants, and it's another term and a few other things called polyphenol and phytochemicals. Yeah, polyphenol and phytochemicals are exclusive. Polyphenols and phytochemicals. These are exclusive to fruits. So
Okay.
now,
Free.
so now, after I brought all the science between all of them, now I'm just gonna break. I'm gonna break down the dietary that you need to have. because
Boom.
I think that there was a lot of science,
Whoa.
the microbiome, and then now I'm telling you about how oxygen. Before I even do that, before I jumped into oxygen, because we need to talk about iron as well. I
Mhm.
built with iron, but anyway, yeah, actually I bought the iron, but there's two different types of iron I need to mention as well, because
Right.
there's iron which is called heme iron, and there's an iron called non-heme iron. Non-heme iron and heme iron. And as I showed you, in the hemoglobin, you got the heme part that is the iron that attracts the oxygen. Yeah. Don't get that confused of what heme iron and non-heme iron. Non-heme iron is plant-based, yeah.
Mm.
Heme iron, you'll find both in meats, but heme iron is only in meat. Yeah.
Right.
They
Okay.
say that heme iron is more soluble. That's what they keep on saying. If you're low in iron, you need to eat meat. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Plant is harder, soluble. Yeah, that's what
Mm.
a lot of scientists say. But the thing is, they don't consider the fact that you if you company non-heme iron with vitamin C or 5 vitamin C
Yeah.
and 5 thick acid,
Mm-hmm.
then your body will absorb it, no problem.
Mm.
You know, the catch is, just to just break it down, heme iron is carcinogenic. Carcinogenic. And once you Google that word,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find out it causes cancer.
Right. This on the side of, is this what you get from the some of the
The
meat
meat.
sites, right? Okay. I can
Yes.
see where you're going. All right. Cool.
Yes.
Right.
So non-heme iron, this is what you need, but you need to utilize it with vitamin C and 5 acid. But if you're if you don't if you use dietary, then
Yeah.
you would have these vitamin C and 5 acid accompanied with the non-heme iron within the dietary. So you will
Right.
have no problems with your body absorbing non-heme iron.
Right.
It is a catch. So as we know, that fruits are exclusive to polyphenols and phytochemicals. So the polyphenols and phytochemicals are like carotene, flavonoids, and etc. The reason why the orange are orange, no, the orange, I mean the carrots are orange, is through the carotene. This is polyphenols and phytochemicals. They are only exclusive to fruits. So let me just break it down now. Let me break it down, because every 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 part that Disano have created for us has exclusive vital exclusive vital cyanobacteria exclusive vital benefits, exclusive vital benefits. Yeah. So for example, so cyano bacteria created what? Bacteria. So we need probiotics. We need probiotics. So we need live organisms. Yeah. And we need to feed them, which is called prebiotics. Prebiotics. Yeah. Sorry about the spelling. So probiotics, prebiotics, created by the cyanobacteria. This is why I took you back to 3.5 billion years ago, because this is the origin of everything that we're consuming now. This is the
Mm.
origin of us. So we got probiotics, prebiotics within our colon by the trillions. Yeah, we need to feed them. Next one, seaweed. It had
Right.
created algae. What's algae? Algae is the 80% of the oxygen that we breathe. It comes from the sea.
Mm.
It comes from the sea. It don't even come from the tree. 20% comes from the tree.
Right. Okay.
But people
Big
don't
enough.
know that.
Big
People don't
enough.
know, no, no.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Big enough.
So, seaweed, algae. Okay, so we know that these are microorganisms that live inside a colon. We need it. We need these microorganisms. They're exclusive because they fight against um pathogens. They fight against foreign invaders. They help
Mm.
the immune system attack these environmental hazards. This is what these microorganisms do. We need it. Without this, we will not be alive. Algae, it helped us breathe in oxygen. We won't be alive without algae. If the ocean get polluted, don't worry about the trees. The trees are not gonna create enough oxygen for us to survive on. 80% of the oxygen that we breathe on comes from the seaweed. Okay, seaweed also have vitamin D, B12. It also have all different types of vitamin B, vitamin. It also has iodine. As you know, Irish mosses has 92 minerals. You wouldn't find that in no plant life, fungi life, meat life, sauce. It's only exclusive to the seaweed. Each factors have exclusive nutrients that our body needs. We are made up of 102 minerals and etc. Yeah, we need to. A lot of people are living without not even half of these minerals.
Bro, yeah. So brother, so before you come on, we're coming to the question time soon. I want you time to wrap up and well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to allow people to come in if they want to ask questions. I have some questions myself, but yeah, you carry on. I'm going to put feedback. I'm going to put the link in there if you want to join to ask some questions there. I've got particular questions, but brother, if you want to conclude.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up anyway. I'm just gonna I'm breaking down all this life nature has created for us to utilize for ourselves. Yeah, so with the microorganisms, we've got the algae, the seaweeds. Yeah, we got the plant life. Yeah, no, actually before the plant life, you got the fungi, which is the mushroom. The mushroom that comes next. I'm giving you the order of how the cyanobacteria had breeded these. Yeah, so we've got the fungi that comes next. The fungi has what you call polysaccharide. Polysaccharides are carbohydrates that antiviral. It has species like lion mane that help strengthens your neurons.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask questions about that. Well, that's good. I'll write that one down.
And then and more, you got cordyceps. So that's fungi. So you need these three exclusive to fungi. Yeah, B12 as well. So B12 you find that all day. Then you got herbs. You know herbs. Herbs is you have sweet, you have bitters. Bitters deals with the cleansing, clearing out of parasites. Yeah. The detox, cleansing of blood. You got the dandelion, you got the wormwood, you got the cordyceps. If you want iron, you can get the sarsaparilla, higher content in iron. You see? So we got herbs. This is all created from what? Green algae. Yeah. So now we're gonna move into what we know now as what? Grains. We have powerful grains, alkaline grains, ancient grains, like the kamut. So we got grains, got kamut. We got teff with the high iron with the fulvic acid for your body to absorb it. We got spelt flour, we got amaranth, we got fonno. So we utilize grains, you know. And last but not least, is fruits. Like I just explained, fruits has exclusive antioxidants. You got polyphenols, and you got phytochemicals. Yeah. So this is the dietary that you need to implement. And if you don't utilize all of these dietaries, then you might be malnutrition.
Right. Okay, so family, I've put a link in there. If anyone got any questions, feel free to ask questions in the chat or jump in. Brother Eazi has done a very thorough breakdown there. A very thank you, brother. This is
I try.
It's good. But the thing is, one way of saying that is great. And what's good is we've made a video that people can actually go, slow down, rewind, Google, come back, and this kind of stuff, right? So what I'm going to ask you is, right now, this is for certain people, they're going to be stepping in to like some of the information and try to utilize it to better fit their health needs, right? Now, the reason why I'm here is because unfortunately, there are many people in our community that are not necessarily eating correctly and that have picked up habits. And I think you've mentioned how that might be, why people might be very prone to junk food and stuff like this, right? Um, Now, obviously, some people what they might need to do is make transitions, yeah, from eating patterns. What is there any kind of transitions you might recommend, even if something isn't to the optimum health, it is healthier than something else and can be used as a transition from one thing to another. So, for example, I know some people say just don't use salt altogether, but there are people who are using white salt, table salt, and there is obviously different salts, but that might be more better for them. I don't know, maybe celery salt, maybe a Himalayan salt, maybe no salt at all, whatever, I don't know. But is there anything that you could recommend as transitional when it comes to eating that can allow someone to go from one thing to another thing?
I think you know what the best way of transitioning, if you want to thinking about transitioning, I think you should even while you eat what you how you eat, you need to eat different varieties because I know a lot of meat eaters or even up to veganism, they don't utilize everything I just brought down there.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you got the veganism that just eat vegetables and salad or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? They
yeah.
don't use they don't utilize fungi,
Mm,
seaweed,
mm,
and herbs, and certain grains. So what I would advise anyone that's probably want to transition, try seaweed. You introduce different structure into your dietary because you're you are man. A lot of people are malnutrition, and malnutrition don't mean that you're skinny or nothing. You could be obese and be malnutrition. We know that our body is made up of 102 elements, yeah,
mm.
no, minerals, and a lot of people are not giving your body these minerals because it don't exist in certain foods. If you're just a herbalist or something, or you know what I'm saying, you are
Mm,
going to be losing a lot of stuff that's not in the herbs, not
mm,
in vegetation. You're going to be missing a lot of herbs. If you just do with one sector of food, you're going to be missing out. So what I would say to you, anyone, that the best thing, even if you do eat meat, try eat more veg, try eat more fruits, start utilizing more seaweed, start utilizing more grains, and then the transition might even happen because once you start having the broader scope of what's out there, then
mm.
you're going to eliminate a lot of stuff.
Well, look, you mentioned, so you said limen, which is a form of fungi mushroom. That's correct, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We're from a lot of people who might not be used to like the fungi kingdom or the fruit kingdom all the different kind of non-meat kingdoms, whatever, right? They might know that there's different variants, right? Just like you have different variants of meat, like it isn't just cow, chicken. There's different types of cow, chicken, whatever. Right? There's actually different kinds of fungi, mushrooms. Just say mushrooms, and obviously lime is one of them. Where would obviously first of all, I'm always going to recommend if you can go to any black shop or vendor to get your stuff, why not? But if there is another one around, where is like a good place to get them? Like, I know when it comes to me getting mushrooms, I know that you can probably find portobello mushrooms, um, oyster mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms. Lime mayo, I haven't really seen that. I might have to go to a specialist for that. I don't know. I don't know if you get that yourself. That would be good to know because I don't. Unless I go to a specialist, I won't know where to get that from.
People when it comes to when we use these terms like mushrooms and that, first thing that goes in their head is mushrooms that you actually put in your food and cook and eat.
Mm,
Some of these mushrooms like liamine and cordyceps and turkey tail, you you probably wouldn't find them in those forms. You
right.
find
Okay.
these in powder forms.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking in the wrong area. You're probably looking in probably like you know what I mean, like a food health shop. You're
Mm,
looking in where the mushrooms are, like the oyster mushroom, like you mentioned, and you will never find them there. You'll find them in like supplement form,
okay.
powder form, or capsule forms. This is how you utilize liamine, cordyceps, and other types of mushrooms. You will find them in health shops. You just have
Mm,
to ask because there's a lot of people in the health shop that ain't even trying to expose you to certain things. They will,
mm.
mate. That's the thing. A lot of people a lot of health shops. Then they do know what's there and they utilize there. But if you don't know that they're not gonna tell you. They're not gonna tell you.
Now,
You told
bro, I don't know if there's a brother that says, is there any disadvantage in consuming too much seaweed? Is that is that is
See,
that
too much seaweed.
like
There's a
too much
bunch.
seaweed?
Yeah, there's always this everything in life. There's overdoing it. It's OTT. I would say so. Yeah. So I would say yes, and I would say before you even introduce certain foods into your dietary, you do have to go check yourself out with the doctors and all that because we need to understand that a lot of people are not biology you know what I mean, genetically built for certain dietary. You might have allergies that you might not know about, you see. And
Mm-hmm.
so yes, there is, you can overdo everything. You can overdo drinking water, you know.
Right. Okay.
So
That's
everything, like I just broke it down, how oxygen, breathing oxygen can cause you cancer.
mm,
So
mm,
it's that deep. When you deal with science and understand it in a little bit of a deeper understanding, you understand that everything is in moderation. You can't have negative without positive.
mm,
Everything's a balance.
mm.
So when you deal with that structure, then you know that everything in life can have a positive and a negative effect to you. So that's the answer to that question.
What would you say you can, what is it that you consume daily that you can recommend that the average person wouldn't necessarily do or know about? Like if consuming something daily is something you do. I don't know. Is there particular things like, look, I would recommend people start taking more of this.
Uh, yeah, boy, yeah. Like I said again, I can say what I'd take, but
Yeah.
I'm only
Okay.
alright with it because I drink. I wake up in the morning.
Right.
Um, I make sure I neutralize my hygiene and chloric acid before I
Okay. Right.
pop. I take probiotics every morning. I introduce my colon with good bacteria, 50 billion good bacteria, and there's a way that you have to use them as well, especially when you buy them from certain shops. You want to look out for probiotics with about 50 billion microorganisms. Anything like 10 or 5, then it's a waste of time. 2, you want to make sure that you have slow releasing capsules. Yeah. And then 3, you want to make sure that it goes over in the fridge as soon as you buy them, because that can also kill the bacteria. Slow releasing capsules, because you want to make sure that the capsules enter past your stomach acid and into your small intestine before they release, because the stomach acid, the hydrogen chloric acid, will kill it. So this
Mm.
is certain things that you need. I introduce probiotics first thing in the morning, every morning. If I if I make CMOS, if I make CMOS, like I always have seen CMOS, I will leave that warm in the morning. You want to drink the drink warm in the morning. I don't have cold drink in the morning. I have warm. Make sure that it don't restrict the blood flow. I make sure everything just circulates and runs smooth. You can alkaline. You don't alkaline the stomach acid, but you can buffer it. Yeah, because stomach acid, as we know, is acidic. But we can buffer it just for the capsule to get past it.
Mm.
So that's what I do in the morning. And then before I introduce any type of strong food, I eat dry fruit. I feed my probiotics. So I eat raisin, dates, because high in glucose. 'Cause I work, I'm in a construction field. I need energy. I will eat dates, prune, prunes, which is good for the digestive system. These got the right fiber. I feed. So what I'm saying is I cater to my microorganisms before I even cater to my cells. That's what I do in the morning.
So I take it you haven't been doing this all your life. This is a point where you've transitioned into doing this. Is
Yeah,
that right?
6 years.
6 years. So I mean, sometimes you won't notice a difference because things happen at a slow pace, right? But have you noticed a difference in your mind, your body, since you started eating and living this way versus how it was before, or not so much?
Well, yeah, I will say that now my digestion system is much easier because you shouldn't be no longer than 2 minutes in the toilets when you're going to number two. You need to go number two every time you eat a meal as well. You see, a lot of people goes to the loo once a day.
Right.
I think that's normal. You're suffering from what's it called then? Um, I can't pronounce it. Suffering from was it that compensation? Not compensation. I mean, when you can't go to the loo. Well, no,
Oh,
you know when
conservation. Conservation.
Yes, yeah. So
I
you're
thought you
suffering.
were something else. Yeah, there you go.
Nah, but basically, yeah, yeah, definitely that. So you're suffering from that. And this is because like I said only on the quickest point where I mentioned that all diseases starts within your colon. So if you don't look after your colon, then just understand that areas of your body could be affected by that. So
Yeah,
leaving stool
yeah.
overnight in your colon, yeah, cause havoc to your large intestines.
Leaving
You
what? Sorry, what? Leaving what?
leaving stool, I think like like when you go to like put
Right, right. Oh, right.
when you eat, like for example, if you eat and you never went if you eat and then you never went to loo and you sleep on the food in your colon,
Okay,
it
right.
causes havoc in the colon. You're talking about
Like when people
leaking.
go to the bathroom before they go sleep.
Yes.
Right.
And
These are techniques.
and
Okay.
then yeah, but even so, this is a scientific, not scientific way, but this is a way that you should go to the loo. You're
Yeah.
meant to have stool. Meant to have your feet meant to be on the stool when you go. You're meant to be in a crouched position. You're not meant the the western the westernized pan that we use to go loo in. It's a right angle in it, a right angle stance. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
your feet needs to be under a stool. This opens up your large intestines
Mm.
for your feces to run through correctly. Yeah. So like a lot of bad habitry that we have been raised upon cause havoc to our dietary and our body.
Mm.
So we need to look a little bit more deeper than how we actually do things, you know?
Mm. So,
And
family, we have Brother Easy here for those of you who are joining new. Brother Easy is specialist in herbs, specialist in correct health living, and he's being very gracious and kind and coming to help the family work. If you ever work on our personal health, as we know, unfortunately, within the black community, there is many challenges when it comes to health. And hopefully, as a community, we can work on solutions and create lifestyles and institutions dedicated to fixing that. If there's any questions, feel free. I've also posted the link. I believe I have. If I do that one more time, if you get it. So if anyone wants to jump in and talk, you're always welcome. This is a community show. And if you've got any questions, always good to catch a person live. Sometimes you might see them publicly speaking, you can't get through to them. They're here now, just to click the link, or you can answer a question in the forum. But I think sometimes some things look very daunting for people, and that's why I was asked about transitional stuff, right?
yeah,
Ways to because sometimes you have to be realistic with some people. Like some people can go really 100% there, and some people that it takes time. It takes certain kind of like weeding certain kind of behaviors out, and that's why I will say like, you know, what did you find most difficult when you were transitioning, if anything?
finding the different varieties of food. But once you transition, you seem to be stuck on eating the same thing,
Mm.
you know. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it took long for me to find out there's other stuff to go out there for.
mm.
That's my hard issue that I started off with is the fact that like I caught myself eating the same thing all the time, and then and then I had to just keep on studying and finding out. Then that's when I started using lecithin, fungi, then seaweed, and then different grains, and then just started doing different stuff. And then I think that's one of the major problems that a lot of people that transition and they go
Mm.
back because they don't. It's hard to find certain food and they don't know what to buy and what what I'm saying. So it's very hard. It's hard. It's not yeah. So before you even transition, just take time to study and research, listen to people, find out all the different types of food that you can replace what you're eating there with.
Mm.
Like if you're a big cereal person, go out and there's some good grains for you. Spelt flour. There's some spelt flour, one of the standard grains that you can get. Kamut, tefnut, which is a little bit harder to make, but there's a very nutrients, good grains and out there.
What about types of rice? Is that
Oh
is it?
yeah.
So
Whoa.
obviously, I don't use white rice. I was told black rice, red rice, brown rice. Is this anything or even just go to quinoa, this kind of stuff, right? And the
Yes. So
bulgur wheat, quinoa. kind of?
Now I'll use quinoa
Yeah.
and I would do wild rice.
What
So
is white rice black?
no, you can get black. Yeah.
Because that's what I've got. So the same way I would make the rice
But technically,
before I
you know that's not a rice. You know,
say again.
technically it's not a rice.
What wild rice is not rice, no?
Nah,
Okay, well there you go. It's like sweet potatoes, not potato, isn't it? It's them
nah,
different.
it's a type of grass.
Okay, if it's good for you, it's good for you, right?
Yeah, of course. No, I mix the. You know what I do? I mix
Uh,
the wild rice with the red quinoa.
okay. Oh, yeah. I've only had the white one, but yeah, because the
Yeah,
thing is, some people. That's another thing. That's another thing. Obviously, when you make transitions between maybe rice and quinoa, some of the family are going to realize maybe it's an extra pound 50. Maybe I don't know. So this is the thing as well. Like that's why I was saying things like is bulgur wheat, if I'm pronouncing that correct, because I know bulgur wheat's dead cheap compared to quinoa.
okay.
And what they do is they mix bulgur with quinoa, don't they, to make it cheap or whatever, right? So you got a
Okay.
family, a big family, and they used to buying the big bag of white rice or white whatever it is. This is
Yeah.
the issue. But also, what I was saying is when it comes to transition from say meat to fungus or a veg or whatever, a fruit or whatever, the same thing you do with your jerk chicken and your styles, you can maybe try for pork belly mushroom or with aubergine or whatever it might be. I don't know. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
the level of transition, but what I'm saying is that's what I do. That's how I do stuff. Whatever, I just replace it there and
Definitely.
then a bit.
I must say this thing about supplements, 'cause a lot of people utilize supplements because they're on the go. They want to just shut pills down their throat and keep it moving. I would suggest this for people that want to use supplements is that try look for the herb or the fruit that contains the the mineral or the nutrients that you're looking for. Try use a dietary supplement instead of buying, for example, calcium
Mm,
or vitamin D. Reason why is because everything in nature is accompanied with something.
mm,
No element in nature comes by itself.
mm,
Yeah. So, for example, if people want to use that have vitamin C, no calcium, I'll say calcium, and they want to strengthen their bones.
mm,
The wrong thing to do is go out and buy calcium capsules
right.
because
Mm,
calcium needs to be accompanied by magnesium
mm,
by the ratio of 2 to 1, and also D3 for your body to absorb it. So it's three elements that you need to have for for calcium to do your bones justice.
mm.
If you overuse calcium, it's called what you know now as calcification.
I heard.
Calcification is where when you consume too much calcium and it's not accompanied by magnesium and D3 by the ratio of 2 to 1, the magnesium by the 2 to 1, it starts attacking your bones.
Mm, mm,
You see what I'm saying? So peep the game, peep the game. That's why I always say go to dietary
mm.
before you go into pharmacy. You know,
Yeah. Now,
no.
obviously, there might not be a good answer for this one. Obviously, I don't eat meat. You don't eat meat, but there's some people that eat meat, and is there like a recommendation less of meat you could recommend? So they're gonna eat meat, for a long time, say, right? And they might
Well,
not gonna be
I would say
less.
what everyone else that everyone knows, innit? If it's not, well, everyone knows. Well, they should know. The worst type of meat you can eat is red meat. Yeah, red meat is the worst type of meat. Lamb, oxtail. I know the West Indian fans ain't gonna have it, but you got the oxtail, you got the curry goat, all of that. Yeah, red
Mm,
meat is carcinogenic. Yeah, chicken carcinogenic, but it's not as bad as red meat. You got fish, which has got a lot of it's acidic. It's acidic, so it's gonna feed the pathogen. It's gonna kill the good bacteria.
mm,
Everything that feeds, everything that's acidic would attack the good bacteria. The 80% of good bacteria that helps your immune system fight against foreign invaders and helps your brain and helps with it. Depression, you're attacking it with these dietaries, regardless. But but red meat is one of the worst meats that you shouldn't eat. Chicken meat, like chicken and um fish is the lesser one. My problem with meat that a lot of people would not kick this science to, because I deal with science, and I can tell you why, the reason why I don't eat meat. Yeah,
Mm,
because one, it's the amino acid that's within meat. There's a content of a certain specific amino acid that is
mm,
within meat that is high than any dietary source, and which is called methionine. Methionine is one of the essential amino acids. It's a sulfur containing amino acid that's high in meat sources. This methionine helps thrives and breed cancer cells. I don't know if you heard it before, but you heard it from me now. Methionine is the reason why I don't deal with meat. Meat, they're high in methionine. High once you restrict methionine out of your dietary, you can't restrict it all because it helps build your muscles, but the content of it, everything is content.
mm.
The meat, methionine content is off the roof. One leg of chicken is the methionine content is off the roof. This helps breed and thrive cancer cells. When you look at methionine, sulfur containing amino acid, it will tell you everything. But that's the reason why I do not eat meat, and the fact that because it's acidic and it attacks
Mm.
my good bacteria.
So what about things like bread? Is there a certain kind of bread you should or shouldn't take, or bread? No,
Bread.
from your bread. Any kind of
Yeah, you won't touch anything that's white. You know that processed bread. White. If anything, you're gonna find spelt bread. You can find spelt bread. It might be a little bit expensive. You can find it in the health shop, but yeah, you won't touch anything. Um, I won't touch any white bread, brown bread, oats. Like even up to oats, because people find oats, cornmeal, all
mm.
acidic, mucus build. It can cause leaky gut. Yeah, attacking your colon again.
No bread. There's no bread you take. No kind of.
No, unless I'm starving and I'm out of the area
Yeah,
and I can't
I
find
recommend everything because obviously in this world, yeah, it's hard to find anything. Before we move on, do you mean meat or flesh, as in fish too? I think
all
there's
of
so
it,
all of it.
all of it,
Yeah,
all
and
of it. It's got high in my
blood,
fine.
anything that has blood, you mean like that
Yeah, I don't eat nothing. I don't eat nothing that I
What
don't eat.
what about plantain? Plantain,
Yeah, plantain is resistant starch. Resistant starch inulin is what feeds the good bacteria. So yes,
right?
I
What,
eat.
what?
But remember, there's 800 different varieties of banana.
Yes. This is the thing.
So
We're
no. They're
here.
all good. They're all
Yeah.
good. So
Okay.
matoke, you deal with matoke, you deal with green, you deal with the bananas all day, all day.
Mm, mm. I mean, I still haven't tasted the because there's red banana from the Philippines and these kind of places that look cool,
Red
but
banana's got the highest containing potassium.
okay,
So
okay.
red bananas, the baby bananas are the best. Don't get the long bananas. Go always look for the baby bananas when you get anything.
Yeah, and this is what I can say. Because I saw on Instagram there was like an alkaline fruit store somewhere in London. I want to contact the owners just to get the information, but definitely we want to get like a database for all the brothers who got their own kind of like health shop or fruit shop or whatever, just so we can send people their way to buying that. What we have to do as well is maybe put up like a helpful kind of plan of what we can eat because most of this information you're not going to get freely. You have to really search out. So we can make it easy for the family. That'll be probably best. But if there's any questions in there, feel free to ask, guys. Um, we'll be going until 12. So we've got only 20 or so minutes left. But yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's been very educational. And obviously, this video is trapped in time. So people can just play it whenever they want, whatever. But yeah,
Please, because that's the main thing is that's why it's so important for me just have it all recorded because people can just play back everything I said and then just go
yeah.
fact check it and then see it and then find out and it's gonna all make sense. It's gonna take time, but it makes sense and it's gonna be worth it because now like if I need to study, I know what I need to utilize in my dietary to make sure that I'm on point when it comes to study information, remembering information. If I want to train harder, there's multiple foods that I can eat that can enhance that.
Mm,
I know
mm.
how my cells utilize these dietary. I know how everything works. so you can, so it's a better understanding, and it's not just, it's a better understanding of what you're doing. I like to be in control of my life, I like to know what I'm doing. So I think education and biology and science and all that, it definitely help you through it. So
Yeah,
I suggest that for everyone.
yeah, no doubt. Maybe a project I have to do is see how much people are spending on food, see their budget, see what they buy, and then seeing if we can come with a replacement plan of how to spend the same amount of money to get more. Just because, well, when you're dealing with the family and this kind of stuff, it is a practical week to week shopping and this kind of stuff, because people have, it's all learned habits, isn't it? You mentioned the McDonald's is a very important one. Like people become very addicted to some kind of foods, as you explain why, and this
Yeah.
becomes a lifestyle. And like I said, I don't have all the data because data can change here and there, but it seems every day I'm checking, unfortunately, black people seem to be registered at a high level of unhealthy, apparently, whatever it is. And also, there was also, what's it called, high blood pressure as well. This is something that needs to be reviewed. Having high blood pressure, some say it's because of salt and this kind of stuff. I don't know. Um, and obviously, linked to anxiety, this kind of things. So it's definitely something that we will have to get a team together. But for you, brother, Easy, what do you see yourself in the future? For you, where would you like to see yourself in the future when it comes to this kind of health thing? What would you like to be doing? What would you like the community help you get onto that next that platform? What would you like?
Well, I'm definitely gonna have a conference. I'll have a conference, and I think with that conference, I'm gonna invite people. Obviously, I'm all starting off new. I'm getting my name about there. So Easy's just starting new. He's trying to get his platform up and everything. But I think I'll have a conference. Definitely have a conference, a smaller one, and I'm gonna I'm cook the food that I'm talking about. I'm gonna cook the
Cool.
food that I'm talking about, and people can start trying it and
Well,
understanding the mix and the science behind it. Because
that's kind of good, bro. That's I think
yeah, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do that. And I think that's worth it. That's worth
Yeah, I
it.
agree. And this is the thing. So this grassroots growing concept is something I'm strong about because what is the idea is there's many challenges that plagues the black community, and the idea is to be solution based. And I think there's actually particular wins we want to get right, and it looks like black health is a major issue, just worldwide generally. But if we can fund, train, or get some kind of institution or some kind of lifestyle promotion based around healthier eating and the science of it, then definitely. And if you're part of that process, that'll be good. So hopefully, if we can help you get to that platform where you can go learn the information, present the information in a way that people can easily digest, pun intended, all that kind of stuff. This is something that I think is very beneficial. Now, brother, we have a guest here. Just to join. I hope you don't mind adding a guest. Welcome,
Yeah,
brother Cal. How's it going, brother Cal?
How you doing, brother Raven?
Very good, family. Well, brother Cal, this is brother Easy, brother Cal. Do you have any
yeah,
questions, brother Cal?
I've just kind of just came in, man.
Oh, let me
Deep,
explain. Let me
very
explain.
deep topic. Very
Yeah.
deep.
So, brother Easy, we met in Speakers Corner. Brother came for Wealth of Knowledge a few years back, and about how to eat to live and consume this kind of stuff, right? And today he's just given like an hour presentation of the history of human cells and how to consume to be in sync with nature and how to actually get the best out of health and so many science studies coming in. Obviously talking about in the future time he's hoping to be a big orator and having like a cooking a platform and teaching people how to transition from certain kind of herbs and this kind of stuff, right? And from meat to he. So that's what we're on. So is there any kind of question you would like to have this discussion you have to bring up or something to ask around the kind of edible health? Now keep in mind the reason why I'm doing this because just like I say, black love is a very important concept to promote. Also, black health as well. And so this is where we're going to spend some time on how to actually get black health in a better place. So any question I'd like to ask, Brother Kel?
Obviously, Dr. Sebi, he's iconic ancestor as well as Layla Africa, but there's always difference of opinion when it comes to broccoli. I was wondering if the brother if can explain why do some people say that broccoli's not good for African descendants' body? If he has any knowledge on that.
Broccoli. You know, broccoli. I heard about it, but I don't think I went in too much within that. But I heard about how it's grown or something. Something about it's got something. It's grown in the like I can't really answer. I won't answer. I don't know. But I definitely heard I heard of a lot of people saying the way it's good about broccoli, saying I say it's not nutrients. But I think it was for the fact of how it's grown or something. Like it's grown in I don't know. No, I can't answer that question. You know, brother.
I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, not jump over my head and stuff, but I do know that there's Dr. Sebi had certain kind of beliefs in what he recommended, and I know that he wasn't strong on what they describe as hybrid vegetables and fruits that farmers managed to make by mixing different genuses together to form something new, kind of like in the animal kingdom where you have a horse and a donkey make a mule, I think they call it whatever. And I think this kind of process he wasn't necessarily agreeing on. Some people strongly disagree. They say they rather do the study rather than just go ignore the concept. But I don't know if that might bleed into it. But once again, this is why we invite all studying people, nutritionists and farmers to come in. And the idea is to have 6 people, maybe more, whatever, in here, really giving the people the best information. Okay, and someone agrees. Dr. Sebi said the same thing. Yeah, so yeah, I heard him now. Dr. Sebi what was good about Dr. Sebi was he was a man on a mission, and he gave the community much information. But unfortunately, he left us very early. So most of the research and search work has to be done by us. You see, so yeah. But I don't know if that answers your question, Beskel. But Brother Eazi was saying it's not really an area he's in that particular thing. I think I heard a joke about broccoli as well today, funny enough.
Yeah, I think you know what it is. I think a lot of people do assume that as soon as that because you're on this this veganism black movement type thing, we think a lot of people think that Dr. Sebi and Dela Africa, however, is one of the people that a lot of people I heard of him, but I haven't. That's not really like Dr. Sebi will definitely need a foundation, but I wouldn't cast them as someone that I study under, you know. So I heard what you're saying about how they say it about broccoli, but I think it was something to do with how it was grown. But I understand a lot of their philosophy, but I kind of run off in my own lane. So this might be some stuff that in my dietary that they wouldn't agree with, you know, and so yeah, like you said about the hybrid yeah, there's different types of hybrid because this is natural hybrids that's occurring hybrids that bees, you know, how bees pollinate from plant to plant and create new plants, you know. So there's some hybrids that actually works in your benefits and all that. So what I would say is just take a lot of these teachers teaching with a pinch of salt, you know, and then create your own, because not everything's going to work for everyone. You know, like I said, you have to go to the doctors and discover and find out how your biology is before you even get into dietary, you know, because it might not work for you, you know, and that's what it is. We need to stop, like, not we, but I'm just saying that we need to look inside us and learn a little bit more about us before we get into any type of form of dietary, because it could be detrimental to our health. We could be consuming certain foods and it's attacking our body. Like I said, yeah. So yeah, man. But Dr. Sabin, all them had definitely have a foundation. But there's many other more teachers that you can listen to as well. Have you heard of Patrick Dells, brother?
I haven't, no, to be fair. No. If you could give us some breakdown on him, maybe we could.
Yeah, he deals. The thing is, yeah, it's like, know how Dr. Sebi, he deals with hybrids, he deals with acidic, and he deals with mucus. Yeah, I think Dayla Africa might go into a little bit more depth in that. Patrick Dells deals with the colon. All disease starts off in the colon. We're all talking about the same thing, but it's just different depths of it. And what I would say as Eazi Herbs, is that if you attack microbiome, these bacteria in your colon, if you attack these live organisms in your colon, you're gonna have problems. That's the root of all evil, all disease to me. I wouldn't say mucus, or I will say if you shut down a shop of these good bacteria, then it's gonna be hell for you. So it's, I think it's, yeah, if you get where I'm coming from.
Patrick Dell's from YouTube in the chat. You can click. I don't know if I've got his actual page if he's got one.
Is it from Grenada? I'm Grenada, yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Dell, and he's on a channel called Gronzo Greenfield. I don't know if that's his thing, but there's a lot of content coming out from him. Food as Medicine with Master Herbalist Patrick Delves.
Check him.
Let me spell his name for you guys so you can Google it, because everyone spells his name different, it seems, these days. So this is how I think his name is spelled. Voila. Google, brother. It's always good to get different opinions of people, especially, unfortunately, both of the master herbalists and health teachers have passed away recently, to be fair.
Okay.
So we definitely need to be looking for other people. But yes, being on your own journey is important, but you have to want. And any more questions, brother Kel? You are the man of the hour.
There's another thing that's alarming as well. Everyone's on the alkaline diet, which they should be, and whenever you combine a component, whatever you're going through, whatever the mucus is attacking you, there's things called capsules, and the capsules are plastic. But there's difference of opinion, red flag opinion when it comes to plastic. So what's your opinion on that? Is it true? Is it, what's the, plastic's a chemical, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that has plastic in anyway that we consume. So what's your opinion on that? Putting the herbs into the capsules.
Wow. Yeah, you're coming up with some questions. I know. I never even looked in that deep in the vegan. I use the vegan capsules. I never looked at that deep in them, to tell you the truth. And yeah, I think you're definitely gonna have me looking up something like that as well. But you know what the thing is, to tell you the truth, you would definitely find, if you're saying what you're saying, I reckon I think you know what you're talking about, or whether that, I reckon you will find some negative in it. I reckon you would. So, but I don't really have too much of saying it, because I haven't looked in it. So I'm only gonna be truthful to you still. Yeah. Also, but you know what? To tell you the truth, if you don't want to use the herb, then there's always an oil form. Always look for the extracted form of herbs, and like any form, you always find the oil form of it, and that's the most potent form anyway. That gets right into your bloodstream. So if you want to avoid capsules, you can because like drinking tea is like, just say for example, 30% of consumption of the herb you will drink from tea. Drink from the tea, and then you get probably about 40 to 45 from the capsule, and then you probably get about 80 from the oil. So that's how it works. So if anything, you want to go straight from the extracted form of the oil. If you want to avoid the capsule.
Question from the forum, Jman279. I know you eat many different fruits and veg. What are some of your main go-tos? So I guess that's for everyone on the panel, but definitely, brother, what is your main go-to fruit and veg? Like, if you had to say, these are the main ones I go to, I love the most, that taste good, I always seek them out. What are your main two go-to fruit and veg?
Well, I like the kale, and I like the kale. I like the matoke. Matoke is a Ugandan banana.
Matoke,
good
banana.
Yeah, matoke. Yeah. Okay. It's a banana, short green banana. It's good for the microbiome and all that. Fruit and veg. I like the I also eat a lot of fungi as well, to tell you the truth.
I do quite a bit.
Yeah, fungi.
What kind of ones do you eat that's not in the capsule base? What fungi do you eat that you cook, or that's not capsule based? That's not.
That one there I spelled as.
Oh, the Japanese one, shikaki.
Yeah, the SHIIT. That one there.
Yeah, that's the one that Dr. Sebi said stay away from. But
Yeah.
it's the only one. But yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, I get that one. That's a Japanese specialist one, and for me, I would say if you want to transition, if you make jerk chicken and these kind of things, try and make jerk portobello mushroom. The reason is because it's such a big kind of size that it can absorb the spices and this kind of thing, and it can. It's like a natural thing that it could. It looks like it could be a meat. Not that you want to look like you meat really, but whatever. But also, oyster mushrooms is good. If you obviously, I'm not recommending that you batter stuff and it's because I know your Kentucky Fried Chicken. If you wanted to go from meat to a different variant, you could use king oyster mushroom, not king, oyster mushroom, not king oyster mushrooms, and that you could get a similar process of how you would use many chicken dishes, whatever. So and also, obviously, you want to go to your local black vendor, your black fruit, but if you can't find them because they're shut down and they run out of food, whatever, Tesco's has it.
And coconut water as well. Love to drink that. And the jelly, coconut water.
Yeah. And do you ever drink jelly coconut? Do you ever get that in England? Jelly, jelly.
Yeah. You can get, especially in the summertime. My boy used to, a boy I used to know, he used to sell the coconuts. The jelly, cut it, chop it up. Yeah, electrolytes and everything in there. So you need to, yeah.
What about sugar? What about sugar cane? Yeah, is that not good? No,
it's alkaline.
Okay.
It's alkaline. It's good.
There's a brother had a sugar cane store.
Good for the microbiome.
With the caps, though, is it possible to sever the caps and just take the stuff out? Would that not be a solution to people who don't want to consume the caps? Or am I just talking some crazy stuff there? Like what are you talking about? It's crazy word. No, is that because obviously there's stuff inside the caps, right? And you're saying that consuming the actual caps, I think Brother Kel said, could it not be you sever the caps and just eat what's inside it?
But the thing is, you know what? But the thing is, sometimes because me, I know how the digestive system works. Yeah, it's a little bit problematic with a lot of stuff that people think how the cells utilize these minerals and stuff. Because we know that it goes through the stomach acid. The stomach acid breaks it down into small. It pumps it. It's what is called perotosis. Yeah, so everything gets breaking down into small particles because the minerals and the nutrients get picked up by what you call the villi in the small intestines. These are small little hairs that pick up these molecules because everything gets broken down into molecule micro forms. So the protein that you consume, or it gets chopped up into the small amino acids and then get pushed through. So it's not as easy and as what a lot of people think when you understand biology, because a lot of things do occur. You got the the hydrogen chloric acid that does a lot, and then you got different enzymes within that chloric acid that play their part, and etc. So there's a lot.
So just for the fans, those who are viewing now and those who are viewing in the future times, hopefully what we want to do is get many people who have different dietary laws, different health plans and stuff, for them to come on and have a nice discussion about what they find works and this kind of stuff. And hopefully, we can get a good circular speech going on and talking patterns going on about health, because I think the Black Health campaign is something we need to push forward. I think we want to be much more awareness on how to obtain better health. And obviously, we're very grateful to Brother Eazi. Now we're running to our last 7 minutes. So any questions for people in the forum, please go ahead. But Brother Cal, we've got 7 minutes left, so you can still ask until we run out. So Brother Cal, over to you, brother.
Yeah, very deep question I'm going to ask. Racism is a problem for the African descendants globally, right? Which leads to mental health. So my question is, right, what are the plant-based remedies to deal with mental health in our community?
The answer is, it's going to be you're going to understand exactly what the answer is in the beginning of when you replay this thing. Is what has a control of your mental insanity, emotions, depression. It's these microorganisms. They send what you called neurotransmitters, yeah, which is serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, yeah, through gateways like the vagus nervous system and the enteric nervous system. These are direct gateways that enter straight into what you called your pons, or your mendu, your mendu and your cerebellum, or your midbrain, that sends it to your frontal lobe. This is all done via your microorganisms. Microorganisms that's in your colon is what they're called as the second axis brain. They call it the second brain because it controls depression, anxiety. Serotonin is a happy feeling, it's a happy drug. Yeah. 80% of that gets produced by these microorganisms. So this is why we need to cater to these. We need to understand these microorganisms and what they do and how they play the role against with us, and then you can understand and you can help these problems like mental health. These microorganisms have a big role to play with it. So understanding health would domino affect your mental health. And obviously exercising and doing positive stuff always it ain't just that, but if you understand the microorganisms and how they play their role against depression, you'll find that it's a big picture that people don't know about or don't talk about.
And also, if any people out there have struggled with health, that's another thing, that talking to people who have difficulty with health and how it makes them feel. You can always come on. You can come in there anonymously. You can come in there openly. You come in, and you don't have to show face and stuff. We definitely want to talk to people who feel they might have some issue with health, or maybe people feel there is no issue at all. Maybe we're making a mile of a molehill. The idea of this show is to get as many people on to have good, constructive conversations, because we're actively trying to find solutions for the Black community. Brother Cal, you have your final question, if at all, a final thought, and then we'll wrap it up, Brother Cal.
Bro, I got no more questions. When caught a couple of you, and it's a great topic, man. Great topic.
Thank you, Brother Cal. So, Brother Eazi, you are our guest. Thank you very much. You did amazing. You're always welcome back. Hopefully, you'll follow through. And you'll jump in random times in future trips. But if you ever want to do a particular presentation, let us know. But one of the goals we're going to try to do is get other people to come on to have maybe a bigger discussion. Because, many of the master herbalists and teachers, unfortunately, have passed away. So that leaves a massive hole for new young scholars and scientists and stuff, right? And hopefully, brother, I'm sure if you're not amongst them now, you will be. So hopefully we can help you in that journey. And you always have a home here at the Black Betterment Broadcast. So hopefully we can work in collaboration to make that a reality, if that makes sense. Would you like to end by saying anything to the family before we lock off, brother?
Well, just play back and then just fact check all my information, like I would say anyone to, and then if you want to find out any more information, just have to just research that name, Eazi Herbs, and you can find out some more information about what I do and how I get into my transition of what I do. So Eazi's got his Instagram, Eazi Herbs, and he's got his YouTube channel, Eazi Herbs. And anytime, just have to shout Eazi and he will just put in his input. I'm not one of them guys that makes up stuff. If I don't know and it's worth getting to know, I will do my research and find out. I'm not gonna fake or front that I know something that I don't, so Eazi's still learning. I'm only new, and I keep on thriving and I keep on fighting for the course, man. It's only about fighting for the righteous course. The righteous course is and especially for our people, man. I'm a soldier for that still. So salute to the family, and then hope it benefit you, man. I hope you got a clearer minding about how dietary will work within our system.
Thank you. So
to Raven as well.
Anytime, brother. You're always welcome.
Salute to you.
Thank you, fam. Big up, brother Eazi, for a fantastic show. Obviously, brother Kel, always with the pinpoint, cool, necessary questions that we always need. Hopefully, I'll see both these brothers next week. You have a good day, guys. Everyone from Black Betterment Broadcast. Until then, see you guys next week. See ya.
What's up?